A shroud of anguish drapes over another Mexican city, this time Boca del Rio, near the port city of Veracruz. Investigators are examining the remains of 35 bodies that were dumped on Tuesday in the middle of a road in broad daylight. Distraught family members are too frightened to talk with us about how their loved ones might have been caught up in this crime. Hearses have been coming all day to take the dead to funeral parlors. I've just been inside the medical investigator's office, and they're telling us they're not going to let Al Jazeera's cameras inside. That's because this is the first time ever in the history of Veracruz State that this kind of crime has occurred. They do tell us that a number of the people who died in this tragic incident died from suffocation, and at least 2 of them were minors. Federal authorities believe many of the victims belong to the Zetas drug trafficking organization, which has been fighting rival drug gangs for control of this key port city. But these sorts of crimes are rarely solved in Mexico. Speaking at the United Nations on Wednesday, President Felipe Calderón urged nations in the region to go after the illegal profits that are fueling the violence in Mexico.
Honestamente digo,
quite honestly, I would say if you cannot cut the demand for drugs, or if you don't want to, or if you have become resigned to consumption increasing, then consumer countries are morally obliged to reduce the vast profit obtained by criminals from this black market. The best way to cut demand, if you can't cut it, is to cut the economic profits. You have to find out how to staunch the source of funding. You have to seek out all the other options, including alternatives, so that drug trafficking ceases to be the origin of death and violence.
Back in Veracruz State, citizens are doing all they can to try to get back to life as it was before the violence.
This really surprises me because Veracruz used to be a very peaceful place, and now look what it's become. It seems nobody's doing anything about this incident.
With the death toll mounting daily and a growing number of previously peaceful communities caught up in the bloodshed, more and more Mexicans are wondering when the violence will finally end. Franc, Contreras, Al Jazeera, Boca del Rio, Mexico.